All right, let's talk about the Syam. This is this, I would say, the second drifter weapon. It is super unique. It feels really good to have a bunch of new and unique weapons in the game. It is a nikana that's here on the origin system. Heavy attack releases waves of energy that have, I don't know if it is infinite body punch through, but they do travel through a lot of people. So, and their travel distance is also pretty good. You can see the enemies are like pretty far away. The only thing, I'm not sure if I want to say issue, that you might encounter so far is that depending on the terrain, your waves are gonna have a weird pathing. It's not every time, but it does happen. Yeah, over 70 meters and we can still hit enemies. So I would say this is has a pretty good range. You can still access normal Nikana heavy attack, but that's it. You cannot use like a second one, just this one. Yeah, and the second heavy attack, which releases a wave, can only be accessed by using the first one. At least that's what I think. I don't think there's any other way of doing it. So let's take a look on the stats, which is actually something that I forgot to do with Sun and Moon, but I don't think it matters too much. We have pretty decent attack speed. Critical chance is, I would say, average. Critical multiplier is average. Status chance is pretty high, considering. So, yeah, let's get into building it. Got no super... I would say this is the most standard build. Yeah, I just don't have anything that's too... I don't think this is really anything close to beginner friendly, but it is what I use to leveling the weapon, and it went out pretty well. The waves deal heat damage, and you get heat procs very often. If you manage to unarmor the targets, it's pretty good. Here, this build is kind of focusing on the heavy attack, because it can get pretty interesting. I mean, bro, look at this. You have a sword. You have a nikana that can kill rows of enemies. Of course, you need, give them the right stuff, the right conditions, and it can shine, you know. It feels really good. It feels really, really good. But this is super basic. We're not getting into combo. We're not getting into anything. We're not buffing it with anything. Something pretty standard. And if you're gonna focus on the wave, you don't even need to use a attack speed mod. But yeah, this is really what I went with the first time, and I think it did pretty good. Viral isn't doing much, but I would say that the status chance it's really good. This is a build for heavy attack, focused on building the combo. We're also using Blind Justice, which already has a pretty decent amount of slash procs built into it. I'm using Varuna just why don't we do it? Not even using a heavy attack speed mod here, which I usually have instead of having it on the weapon on the mods. I usually have Arcane Strike on my frame, and that's what gives my melees the attack speed that I need. So let's see how it goes. Let's use them both. Considering these are armored enemies, these are very high level armored enemies, we're dealing pretty good damage. Pretty good damage. I think that what's gonna make this weapon really shine is putting something like maybe a gas, or even finding a way to put in some electricity. That's at least that's the feeling that I have. Don't have anything to loot here, but if we were to heavy attack, yeah, 100k heat proc, heat tick actually, which I think is pretty wild. Like, yeah. Let's think. I'm even using condition overload, so let's just see what's gonna happen. We're probably not gonna survive for long. The Shrouded Diamond, every attack, flash stick. But we should be able to build the combo up, I think. Oh, almost. To be honest, I'm kind of scared. Don't know if I want to test first with armor or without armor, but let's test with armor. Is it gonna one-shot something? Let me get the viral in. We have the viral. Oh my god. Ooh. Okay. That was pretty good. Yeah. Get our combo back and let's see how much could we deal against the unarmored target. The problem is it could even die before 1,700,000. That was only the initial hit, not even the heat tick. So you can see that we can get some pretty crazy numbers with this thing. And we're talking about a special attack. Yeah, this is the build. I did some kind of a prototype, something to use without really building combo, like your heavy, kind of like a build for heavy attack that you would use on a glaive, but it's not like super powerful. Against an armored target, it deals decent damage. It was just an attempt. It was just trying to see what could be pulled out. I was just doing some more testing, and just like the Sun and Moon that I've talked about in the last video, this weapon also doesn't maintain the combo counter on when using multiple heavy attacks. We use the first one and second one, and we're already down to 5 times. Which don't know what to really think. But probably the most unique nikana in the game. Is it I don't think we can compare this to anything else. We have Zods, we have Nikana Prime, Dragon Nikana, but this thing has a unique attack. Stats wise, it might lose for something like this, like the Nikana Prime, but with that unique attack, I don't know. It's an extra. It's fun to have extra things. If I had to choose between a Nikana and the Syam, I would go with the Syam just for the extra element. I always tell you guys that when you're doing a disruption, one of the best things to have is to have a hall or a corridor clearer. And it seems to me that this could be the opportunity to make one of those. To make it turn this into one of those. Let me try something. Let's take this one build that was made for the heavy attack without building the combo. Let's add it the toxin and see how this would work with the gas that I talked about. With armor, nothing impressive. Check out the armor and see. I would say that it is interesting, to say the least. Of course, we're doing two things. We're armor stripping and we're grouping. So not as common to see, not your everyday not the stuff you're gonna see every day. You can do, but it takes some setup to do it. So as for viability, I'm not sure. Could we do this with the heavy attack one? This would probably be complete overkill, but let's do it anyway. Since we are grouping them, maybe you don't need relentless combination. Let's put in, and I'm gonna leave condition overload just to. We're gonna miss out on a ton of damage. Let's do it the best way. Let's do it the best. Why not? We're testing, right? Toxin. We want. Question is, if we use Virulent Scourge, would we achieve enough status chance? Not sure. Group them. Build it up. Okay. Could we potentially... was a pretty interesting amount of damage, considering that we have armored targets. Come on, I want to see one more time. Yeah, that was. We all saw that coming. Do it one more time. Yeah. I think nothing would survive that, probably. Kind of crazy. Could even be a pretty decent setup to take against a infested level cap. Something that I'm still testing it. Gladiator Might versus Sacrificial Steel, because I was using Sacrificial Steel, guaranteed orange crits with probably a small chance of red crits. This one does not guarantee orange crits, but it is a higher critical multiplier, so it's kind of hard to tell which one is going to be better. Yeah. The last thing I want to show you guys, which I think is very interesting, is the following. Let's look at the dot damage. Okay. 671, 374, 374. I think we could say that the most consistent one is 374, because it's the damage it deals after the heat kicks in. It deals with the armor and stuff. So here's the thing. That is a significant increase in the damage. That is really vigorous swap in there. Vigorous swap makes a very interesting, gives it a very interesting amount of damage, or a damage increase. So I think it's kind of crazy. I am a total layman when it comes to certain stuff in this game, but yeah, we could say that it is a considerable increase in damage. Not only that, but also using Arcane Arachne. Just by looking at these numbers, I'm not able to say if this is multiplicative scaling, but it does sound like it. Yeah. So that is because usually, actually Arcane Arachne probably does I'm not. I have to take a look, but it increases weapon damage, but I'm not sure if it is melee. I don't use Arcane Arachne a lot. I just use it for Contagion because it does increase Contagion's damage. But I know that Vigorous Swap and the Holster Aura, they don't work for melees, but this is not a melee, this is a projectile. How do you know it's a projectile? It's not a melee, not part of the melee. Because I was actually using her before, Varuna. Varuna gets her bleed procs when with melee when you guaranteed when you use a melee attack. When your melee has something extra and it doesn't proc the slash, that means it is not a melee. That is a projectile of sorts. You see that because Gunblades do not trigger slash procs with Varuna's 1, and a bunch of other abilities. Sinister Disc doesn't. A lot of other unique melee weapons, things that they do not trigger slash procs. So that's how you know it's the thing is working, and you can see that damage goes up quite a bit. I think this is one of the weapons that I had the most to talk about. And I'm still like super early on experimenting, and I don't even know what properly to do with it. But if I would go today to level cap, I think this is the build I would take. If not for general use, I think I would probably use this build. Yeah, this one is just super basic and probably not worth using. I don't know yet. Yeah, these are my initial thoughts and builds on this weapon. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Leave it a like, consider subscribing. Peace.
Till next time.